Hey, shalom to the hopeful elect. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone who teach the truth and rule well. This is the brother Yatab Yahweh Allah coming back from the GMS SF Bay Area camp. And I got a quick lesson today. All right, Lord's will is edifying. But just going in on this article I got pinned up, basically remarks from the Danish Prime Minister. All right, which shows you, okay, the relationship being strained between NATO and Babylon, or NATO and America. All right. And, when we go into prophecy, like these countries that make up NATO, they're going to have a position in destroying America. All right. So some way, somehow, which we're seeing part of it right now, there's going to be these alliances broken up. All right. And again, these nations are going to come against America. But let me read this real quick. It says, this is from AP News, dated January 6th. It says, the Danish Prime Minister says a U.S. takeover of Greenland would mark the end of NATO. Copenhagen, Denmark. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen said Monday an American takeover of Greenland would amount to the end of the NATO military alliance. Her comments came in response to U.S. President Donald Trump's renewed call for the strategic mineral-rich Arctic island to come under U.S. control in the aftermath of the weekend military operation in Venezuela. All right. So again, hey, Trump is that cruel Lord, man. Trump is that Nero, and he's just talking his shit. But again, the main point is what, they said this could be the end of NATO. Now, whether or not this happens or not by way of, America taking over Greenland, we'll see. But nonetheless, all right, these countries in NATO are going to destroy America. Now, let me grab this in Revelation 17 and 16. All right. And it says, in the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. All right, going into these European nations, the EU. It says, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. All right. Now, again, this whore is talking about America. Now, these kings, all right, the power structure with the EU has with the whore and as with the beast as a whole, they're going to come against America. Okay. Now, what did it say? It says, shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So these nations, whether they had an alliance or not, they're going to have a position in destroying America. And again, I brought out that article because it shows you those relationships being strained. All right. Now, again, whether or not, Trump takes over Greenland, that's yet to see. All right. The Lord knows how it'll play out. But ultimately, these nations are going to destroy America. Now, when you jump over here, Jeremiah, the 50th chapter, what does it say? It says, Jeremiah 50, let me start at, verse 13. Jeremiah 50 and 13, it says, because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon, and Babylon is code for what? America, shall be astonished and hissed at all her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon around about, all ye that bend the bow. So now if you can receive it, all those who have nuclear capabilities. All right. So again, those are some of the so-called allies of America. All right. These horns. All right. Some of the beast nations. All right. China is, North Korea, Russia. Russia's going to have the biggest part in destroying America. But it says what? All ye that bend the bow. So even the allies of America are going to come against her. It says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Lord. Okay. And again, because of, the wickedness of this place. All right. The atrocities that it's done, the confusion that it's pushed out. All right. All the witchcraft that it pushes. The Lord is not with America. Okay. And he's going to make America that example when you know, when it's that time of what happens when you go against the Lord, when the Lord is angry with you, it's the America's going to be a desolation. Okay. And that shows you the power of the Lord, and it shows you the power of prophecy, that even these so-called allies of America, they're going to be one of the ones to go against her. All right. It says, shout against her round about. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her as she hath done. Do unto her. So again, this is vengeance from the Lord. All right. This is vengeance of the Lord coming against this land, America. All right. This is the anger of the Lord. And he's going to put he's going to give that thought, all right, to these nations to utterly destroy her. Okay. Now let me jump over here to Obadiah. All right, because Edom is linked up tough with America, and it just shows you, all right, the how these allies, all right, view Esau. All right. Now let me get straight to the point. Yeah, verse 7. Okay. Obadiah 1:7. It says, all the men of, and again, this book is going heavily into, Esau, Edom. All right. But it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. Okay. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Okay. And again, ultimately, who runs America? Esau, Edom. It says, have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him. Now, when you read this in the NLT, it says, all your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Your trusted friends will set traps for you and you won't even know about it. All right. So again, okay, this place, America, is going to be destroyed even by its allies. All right. And again, we see these talking points. Trump being, the big bad Edomite that he is, talking about taking Greenland for the strategic purposes. All right. Which ultimately, it's all for that war. All right. World War III, which let me grab that. But, the main place it's going to take part in is the Middle East. All right. Now, let me just grab this because it shows you, just everything that's going on. This is how close we are. All right. Revelation 11:14, and it says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right. And the second woe going into World War II. Okay. But this third woe cometh quickly is talking about World War III. And you see how they're setting up different strategic, outposts, if you will, or strategic lands to be ready for that war. Okay. But again, all right, well, that was the whole reason. Well, one of the reasons in Venezuela, all right, to have that choke point in the Caribbean, okay, to be able to gain control of that land. That's why he's talking about Cuba, because, going into past times, you've had Russia be allies with Cuba and set, they don't want missile defense systems set down in Cuba because that's close. All right, that's within real close distance to America. So right now they're strategically taking things. All right, and also resources. They're going into minerals, oil. You need that fuel. All right, you need the minerals, you need the money to fuel that military. Okay, so again, this is a lot of strategic things getting ready for World War III. But again, that main place is going to be partaken, or it's going to take place in, is over there in the Middle East. All right. Now let me just grab that and I'll end off on that. Joel 3. And again, the scriptures say that, at the end, one of the end time prophecies would be wars and rumors of war. I believe it's in the book of Matthews. All right. All these things are rumors of war. Okay. And ultimately it's going to lead to that main war. All right. Joel 3:9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, and all these heathen nations are getting ready. It says, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say I'm strong. And this is a lot of these nations putting in more money into their militaries. All right, I believe Trump just came out and said they need 1.5 trillion instead of the 1 trillion. All right, so just something astronomical. All right, why is that? Because they're getting ready for war. 11, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And that's the point. All right, the main judgment place, all right, for these heathen armies is over there in the Middle East. Okay, but again, you're seeing certain strategic strikes or strategic takeovers, just getting ready for warfare. All right, but also the main thing is what you see, the strain on that relationship with NATO and America, because again, as we read, these NATO countries are going to have a position in destroying this place. All right. Hey, but yeah, just a quick lesson. Okay. Lord's will. It was edifying. Once again, I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect and above all.